Boo. Super. Yo. Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. Okay. Sorry, it's a little hot. I'm sorry. There we go. So how are we doing on this fine evening? I had a bad day. I had a bad day. Why does it keep doing that? Stop it. Stay. I'll send the link to her in case she's bored. Is that a new Lakers hat? As a matter of fact, yes it is, and I got a new Durant shirt as well. What do you think of Travis Fulgham on the Eagles again? I doubt it's happening. I doubt it's happening again. No! We sucked that year, too. But it was a good year. Sorry. But it was a good year for my Lakers. They won a championship. Sure. I like LeBron. I didn't like LeBron that year, though, in 2020. I hated the NBA. I didn't have a fair freaking team. All I remember doing was, I used to suck at that game. But now I got used to it. So now I can play 22, 23 actually, and Madden 23. I like Madden 23. I haven't played it in a while. They're barely dropping out any content that interests me. Sorry, fidget hands. Sorry. Fidget hands. I hated that year when we had Travis Fulgham. We didn't even have anyone good. We didn't even have freaking AJ. I didn't even like that year. We sucked. We didn't have anybody good. And we would trash talk. Oh, the Heaton moments and then they become teammates, highlight Evan, or dang products. That's something right there. That's something right there you should do right there where Jalen Mills talked smack at Juju and then they became teammates because they both play for the New England Patriots. It's good. Give me a second, I'll be right back. But okay. Alright, I'm back. But yeah, we sucked that year in 2020. The Eagles. How was your day? It got a little better. I got a new Lakers hat. Got some new drip. Honestly, can't be. It was all right. It's okay. It's going okay. But I remember that year. It was awesome. I just got some new drip myself. Cool. That's good. So we're both showing off our trip. Trench coat. Aw, sick. But yeah, I remember that year. We sucked that year, and we had like Deshaun Jackson and Goodwin barely played. We had Alshon Jeffrey, Jalen Rager. Like it was just like I think we had Quez Watkins too that year. I think we did. And we had Hightower. If we kept him, he would have been a stunt. Sadly, with my pistol and my backwards hat and sunglasses, I look like a combined shooter. Try not to say that stuff, man, cause I don't want to get violence. I understand. I'm sorry, bro. It's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, and I remember watching those games and just like ever since the first game, I was like, what the F is Wentz doing? And I'm like, what the F is he doing? Like, that's not Wentz. That's not how I remember. We had like a 17 to like what 3 lead, I think it was, and like I was like, oh cool, we have a 17-0 lead, and then all of a sudden the Commanders come back and win, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I thought to myself, well, it's just the beginning of the season, no sweat. We have a year ahead of us. I mean, and then he said stuff like, I have to clear my interceptions and I will own it, and all of a sudden, and I thought like he was going back to his MVP level, and I'm like, okay, maybe we have MVP wins again, and it like sucked. It just like, and then the next week after I see the Eagles losing, and I'm like, you said you had to clean up your interceptions and stuff, and he turned the ball over a few times, and like he would stress a lot, and like his. Do you play GTA Online? If so, what console? I do not, unfortunately. I do not. Um, but I do remember him like cleaning up after. Dang, bro. Yeah, I know. I know. Mm. Give me a second. Yeah. Don't worry about the sound. It's just my kitchen sink. If you hear water. What kind of music do you listen to? Yeah, depends really. Drake, Lil Scott. I listen to Zach Brown bands. I listen to a lot of music actually. To be honest, I don't actually have a favorite song to be honest with you, but I do like music. Same. Oh, cool. You and I have something in common. But after he threw like the interceptions, wins, and I'm like, and then they were coming back, and I'm like, they just woke up, and then all of a sudden, they lose another game, and I'm like, are you joking, kidding me? And I'm like, okay, maybe we'll beat the Bengals, and like, I would have like this confidence in me, and because like the last time, I made mostly heavy metal. Okay, that's not actually. I like that band actually, Five Finger Death Punch. I forget the song though. I forget the song, on. But I know I'll have to send it to you. I'll have to tell you what it is. I'll try to look it up again. Tell me the lyrics and I'll tell you. I think I know it. I have a picture of it. Hang on, give me a second. Under. It's You Pull Me Under. I can't sing the lyrics because I'll get copyrighted. Unfortunately. But I think it's You Pull Me Under. I'm starting to get some of the music back in my head. Coming Down. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's the song, Coming Down. Love that one. But, yeah, and, like, the confidence level, it was between a rookie, Joe Burrow, and, like, we tied it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And I didn't really feel a thing, honestly. I'm like, okay. Music is sad as, video is sad as, I haven't seen it. I know that, like, it didn't affect me, the loss, and then in the fourth, and then against the 49ers, we played some guy, C.J. Stroud, and I'm like, no, not C.J. Stroud, I think it was C.J. Bernard. The music tickles very serious topics. I may have to watch it. But I do apologize for the background noise. That's my neighbors. I don't know what they're doing right now, but I guess they're talking very loud. But I remember in week 4 against the 49ers, we played C.J. Bernard or someone like that for the 49ers, and we were losing, and I'm like, good work, Wentz. You blew the season, and I was so annoyed. If you can't handle self-terminations, it's not a video for you. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know what that is exactly, but I don't think... Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But... But then week 4, he would just, like, friggin', like, I was so annoyed, and then all of a sudden, it just, like, he came back and won, and I'm like, let's go, yes, we have a... So then, and then into, like, week 5, we're against the Steelers, and I'm like, okay, we'll win this game. We'll win this game, and the Steelers, and I thought the Steelers stink, because, like, I have confidence in my team. But then we lose. And I'm like, how is this even possible? Do you have a dream car? Not at the moment. I don't, honestly. Not at the moment. I don't. Unfortunately. So then week 6, I'm like, this is gonna be a monster game. We got the Ravens, and I'm like, oh gosh. And I'm like, oh gosh, we gotta play Lamar Jackson. And I'm like, okay, maybe we could play him better. And then we start losing, and I'm like, are you joking, kidding me? And like, so then we were almost close to tying it, and I'm like, we're still in it. Dream truck 2002 Ford F-150. Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool. That's a good one. Dream car, NASA 240 SX. That's a good one as well. And dream tuner car 1999 Nissan Scott. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So then, after we lose, I'm like, well, we're still a good team. So then we had the Dream Muscle Car Hellcat to 2022. Ooh, that's good. So then we played the Giants, and I'm like, we can beat this team. So then we win that. So then when I go to sleep, and then I wake up, and I'm like, okay, we got this. And as I see we're losing, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And we were down like 24 points, and if Evan Ingram did not drop that ball, they would have won that game. And he dropped the ball, and then we come back and win, and I'm like, okay, we got this in the bag. We got this. So then what happens is we play Dallas, and I'm like, this game is gonna suck. And like our whole division sucks in general, and I'm like, this is the worst division I've ever seen. And so what happened was we won that game, and people were like, and I'm like, this game didn't mean a thing. I wouldn't mind doing a live stream with you if you know how to no offense. Yeah, it's all cool. Yeah, one day. Yeah, of course. But then after the 20, then after Dallas we play New York. We're on the bye week, and I'm like, okay, let's rest up. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is like the the 2019 Eagles schedule where we had Wentz and Nick Foles and Alshon and Golden Tate, and I'm like, okay, we could do this. And so then we play New York, and then we suck, and I'm like, come on. And then who's after New York? Then we had Cleveland, and I'm like, we're not gonna beat this team. And then we lose to Cleveland, and I'm like, what the F is going on? And things start to become stressful, and people start booing. And who was after the Ravens? I mean the Browns. Fudge. Trying to think. I think it was Seattle or Green Bay. But those two games were L's as well, and I'm like, this is a nightmare. And the season sucked. The whole season itself sucked. So then Green Bay, my favorite team is the San Diego Chargers, but they're called the LA Chargers. I got respect for Herbert. I got respect for Herbert and Keenan Allen and Derwin. I got respect. And Darren Sproles, too. But then, after those two losses, they were nightmares, and, I'm telling myself, what the heck is going on? So then, in Green Bay, we bench Wentz, and I'm like, did they just bench Wentz? And we replaced him for, Jalen Hurts. And then Hurts is, so good. I'm like, this kid is something. This kid isn't so bad. And I'm saying to myself, this Alabama quarterback, he's not so bad. So then we play the Saints, and they're like, nah, we're not going to put Wentz in. Sorry, there was more water in this. But then, Bama, hell yeah. Yeah, I know. He's a stud. He's the Eagles' future. Which is why I'm hoping for Alabama players or former teammates who played with Jalen Hurts to come to the Eagles. We're going Georgia on defense and Alabama on offense is how he's doing right now. And hopefully, I'm hoping the Eagles could take DeAndre Hopkins. We wanted Calvin Ridley, but he's with Jacksonville. Do you have an option on NASCAR? Nah, I don't watch NASCAR. I don't follow that. But then we play the Saints, and Hurts comes in, and I'm like, okay, let's see what this kid can do. So then I see him playing on my birthday, which is December 13th, and I'm like, this kid is something. And that's okay, I understand. Yeah. So then they win, and I'm like, yes. Because they had no Drew Brees, and they had just Taysom Hill. Ooh, excuse me. They had Taysom Hill, and it was just ridiculous. But then we played the Cardinals, and I'm like, we'll go 7-7. And I thought Hurts could do 7-7. But then all of a sudden we lose to Arizona, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So then we played Dallas, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And we get eliminated from the playoffs, and Cowboy fans are talking mad smack nonstop, oh, you guys lost by 38 points. We're going to make the playoffs. We're going to win the Super Bowl and whatnot. And, how in the world? And I'm like, you guys aren't even going to get past the first round. Because whoever got past the first round would have had to play Brady, and they would have gotten destroyed. So then we play Washington, and we tanked that game, and I'm like, why did we just tank that game? And Hurts was smiling, and I'm like, why are you smiling on camera? Like, your team is losing. You're benched by a third-string quarterback, Nate Sudfeld. All right, bro, I'm going to head out. Do you have anything I could contact you on other than here? Nah, not really, bro. Not really. You could go to my community. I communicate. I post stuff live there. I mean, you can contact me there. I post like tweets and stuff there. Well, not really tweets, but you know what I mean, like Instagram stuff. But then, all right, thanks. Talk to you later. All right, see ya. But then, in the off season, I'm like, what do we even do at this point? So then we get rid of like Alshon, Deshaun Jackson, and whatnot, and I was upset about Jackson, but I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna go to a different team, and he went to LA, so yay. I saw I saw Jackson like make plays and stuff, and like we sucked that year. We were like 4-12-1, and I'm like, this is just a nightmare. So we were one of the worst teams. So what we do is we get rid of almost every bad player on the team. Nickel, Roby Coleman, freaking Jalen Mills, freaking. Like, we got rid of these guys because, like, we sucked. So then we rebuild, and we're like, okay, maybe we could do better. And then what happens is we sign Anthony Harris, and I'm like, yes. And I'm like, yes, let's go. So then I'm like, let's go. And then we go after, we get rid of Clement. We get rid of, we had, like, so many bad players on the team, dude. Like, it was crazy. Like we had no good players. And, like, so then what happens is we sign some players, and then we get rid of Wentz, and I'm like, and I was a little bit upset by it. But he went to Indy, and he played better there. Spoiler alert. But then I start to follow basketball. I start to follow the Sixers. I used to be a Sixers fan. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and I think they had like Danny Green and Tobias Harris. And like they sucked that year. And like we were like it was like one of the worst seasons. And then what happens is I go to the draft, and we trade, and we fire Doug Peterson, and I'm like, okay. So then we get Nick Sirianni, and then we make some moves. So then we trade down because for some reason Howie wanted a quarterback. People were saying Howie loves to collect quarterbacks. But I start to understand him now. He's just worried about, in my opinion, he's worried about the team, like, on them doing bad again, on them doing trash. So then we let Jalen Hurts play, and I'm like, okay, this young Alabama dude. So then we trade down. So then we trade back up, and they said we were going to trade back up, and I could see someone has joined the stream. You could type down in the chat. Okay, they left. But then we trade back up, and rumors were saying we were going to trade back up, and I wanted Patrick Surtain. So then Denver takes him, and I'm like, let's go. So then what happens is Dallas is on the board, and I'm like, they're gonna get friggin'. They wanted Surtain, but they didn't get him. So then what happens is they trade down with us, and I'm like, we're on the clock. And I thought we had 2 draft picks. If we had 2 draft picks, I would have went after Devonta Smith and Micah Parsons. No offense, but he was a stud back in Penn State, and he's a stud now in the NFL. He's a stud, Micah. Like teams that are worried about him, you might want to avoid a sack or throw the ball away. But the fact was that we traded up, and I'm like, oh my God, we could get someone good. So then we take Devonta Smith, and I'm like, and I was so excited. My mind was like, we have a receiver, we have a number one, and I was telling myself, well, why didn't Tua take him instead of taking Jalen Waddle? Like, you could have had the Heisman Trophy winner, but you give him to us. You give him to us, and like we still had Rager and whatnot, but that season sucked. So then after that season, in the off season, I'm like, okay, maybe we'll do good. So then we pick up Hassan Reddick, and I'm like, wow. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So then, after that, I see we pick up Kyler White, I think his name is. And then we take, who else did we take? We took Zach Pescal, and I'm like, okay, we got some receivers. But the draft, bruh, oh my God, I loved that trade. We traded up because they had us taking Jameson Williams, but we took Jalen Carter. I mean, not Jalen Carter. That's this year's draft. Give me a second real quick. I'll keep talking. All right. So then we take freaking fudge. We take Jalen Carter. And I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do now? And we were like, okay. So then I was hoping for Andrew Booth out of out of Andrew Booth. I was hoping for the cornerback Andrew Booth out of Clemson, but the Vikings took him in the second round, and I'm like, and then I'm going on my Bleach Report, and people are like, A.J. Brown, A.J. And I'm like, what just happened? And I'm like, did a trade just happen? What just happened? So then I'm hearing stuff. I'm hearing like these rumors and stuff, and I'm like, A.J. Brown. And they're like, A.J. And then I go, and then it says the Philadelphia Eagles are trading for A.J. Brown, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And I was like mind blown. Like, it was the best trade I saw. And like that year we lost the Super Bowl and whatnot. Yeah, yada yada yada. But as a Chiefs fan though as well, I was like, meh, it didn't really mean anything. Sorry, my neighbor's dogs are barking. I'll mute. Alright, they stopped. But the fact was that, sorry, they're still going at. But the fact was that, okay, but the fact was that, but as a Chiefs fan, I thought of some happy times as me as a Chiefs fan, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'll be happy, and so I was happy, and I'm like, okay, I'll save up for the shirt and hat, so then I bought the shirt and hat, and then the offseason comes by, and I'm like, okay, maybe we'll get some good players, and we got rid of some good players, and did you hear about DeAndre Hopkins? I did, actually, as a matter of fact. Did I hear about DeAndre Hopkins? I meant to say, yes, I did. But then the fact was that it was like that was one of the best drafts we had. Was this year's, and like they were like, we were taking Jalen Carter and Noah Smith, and like everybody, Micah felt sick to his stomach, after us drafting him, and I'm like, okay. So then what we do is we sign Marcus Mariota, and I'm like, let's go. And we signed all these good players. And then I see the Cowboys fan raging. He's like turning his back. He's like, yeah, Jalen. They got Jalen Carter. They got Micah. They got Noah Smith. And then the third round, we took an offensive line and Sidney Brown, and I'm like, that's not a bad pick. So then round 4 comes up, and we traded up, and I'm like, okay, we drafted Kelly Rango, and I'm like, yay. So then what happened is we take all these good players, and that... Oh, I thought someone hit the like button. Do you guys want me to do a 100 subscriber rap song? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll do it. I have to be up to 100 subscribers, though, in order to do it. So then, a few years come by, and well, not a few years. Sorry. But then we drafted so good, I'm like, this is the best draft. And then we traded up for DeAndre Swift when I'm waking up one day to the last day of the draft, and we're like, we got DeAndre Swift. And I'm like, oh my God. And my mind was like, pew. My mind was blown. And then that was the best draft we had, but yeah. Some memories to kick back, some good times, and honestly, yeah. Alright, guys, well, I'm probably going to end the stream here, guys, because I'm getting a little bit tired, and I want to watch some TV and chill for the rest of the night. So I'll see you on the next video or the next stream. Bye.